In our last episode, we showed you Jean-Gui helping us put up our mast. Now, just days after he left, the Leopard Catamaran team also finished up. So we're now here on our own with just Nino to help us to get this boat back on the water. Now, as you can imagine, it has been crazy busy and I have not had time to do our usual style of vlog. So instead, here is a look at 10 jobs that we've been up to in between the mast going up and our final week on the hardstand. Or at least what should be our final week. I'm just in the helm now because it is time to stick Tynan up the mast. We're going to do a couple of runs up and down. We're going to do one for the instruments, we're going to do one for the wiring, and I think we might also do one for the Halyard, but not 100% sure just yet. So at the moment, obviously our helm is not intact yet. So what we've done is we've wired the foot switch in and we've just got to control it by hand. So usually that would be like a boop boop with your foot, but obviously no helm platform yet. So I'm going to be reaching down to press that while simultaneously controlling the ropes up here. I have the button in my right hand just out of frame, but I can't go more than a certain distance from it because the cable's not long. This is hard to push with your hand.
There he is, up the dock.
My job this morning is we have a new code 0 halyard because the old one was damaged on the old mast. We've now repurposed that as a topping line because the topping line was also destroyed, but we were kindly supplied with a new code 0 rope which Jean-Gui brought up, but I believe it was facilitated by Leopard. It doesn't have an eye splice on the end though, so that's my job this morning. I have to splice it. To splice this halyard, I'm going to need my splicing kit, which I can never remember. There we go. We have the Selma splicing kit, and this thing is come in handy far more times than I can count. So if you have a boat, the Selma one is worth getting. I will throw a link in the description. I just want to give a shout out here to the Rigging Doctor, another sailing YouTube channel whose brilliant tutorials taught me how to splice. So I'll throw a link to their videos down in the description. Seems to have gotten a lot better at the eye splices because it took me a couple of tries when we were in Gibraltar when I spliced my first ever halyard, and this time got it on the first try. So I can get it up to a certain point, but when you need like the brute strength, then I call in the big guns. Just putting in the halyard.
It's over on my boat, look, there it is. It's on my boat, it must be. And in the rainbow! That's cool.
Just for your boat, you know. Tynan is just up the back here and he is dealing with the back door frame. Ultimately resulted in the whole door frame having to be stripped and repainted to actually fix the problem, which is a crazy amount of work. They didn't actually send anyone out either who admitted to being experienced or competent in all grip, which was the paint that we were told would be used. So Nino ended up doing it at Trent's cost. Now he's done and we're in a position where we can start reconstructing it. So Tynan is just putting the fuzzies in at the moment that run against the door. Then tonight we are going to get out here as a crew and backfill it, and then hopefully that can mean tomorrow the doors and the flashing can go on, but the whole thing can't actually be finished yet because mistakes happen and somebody who is not a member of our crew or Nino, it seems they've thrown out some parts for the door. I have evidence for why I think that's the case, that this has happened, but it was an accident. They didn't mean to do it, and now we'll just figure out the best way around. New door parts are meant to be coming, but we've asked for updates on when and where, but we've received nothing yet. So Trent is already thinking of creative solutions just in case we are 100% ready to launch and we don't have door parts. Another fun day on Liger.
So handsome, oh, you have your way, and it's making me weaken. You and your stardust, walking like that. It's really getting to
They took these two out and then backed these off a little bit. So this was just hanging, so it get painted under.
Yeah.
But now I don't know where these other bolts are. They're missing on these two and then on the window. These are just big cap bolts.
Do we have any? Dumort's gonna close, so
What's the time?
about 3 o'clock on Friday, so Dumort's not open till Monday. Otherwise, we're not gonna have doors up the weekend. Heard noises out on the rear cockpit and realised that these two
I was talking about trying to slide it
have a door.
I'm going to walk up a step and go out. What for? Here's the door.
The door's got to go in.
Yeah, up a step.
Careful.
Up a step.
It doesn't drop in from the helm.
Oh, sweet. Right.
I can see there was a solid planning meeting before you two got to this point.
Exactly. You tell me where else to go, I'll hold it.
Careful of the roof, you're almost touching it.
Go on, I'll do that.
There's-
No, I don't think you can either.
Now we're going to get here.
And if you ever have a problem with your Lumar sliding doors where you need them repainted, do not call this man. He does not want to hear from you.
No, we don't
Okay?
nothing about painting.
He doesn't want to know about paint.
Fitting
You've got
doors.
you got gel coat. You got some fairing and filling and shaping.
I'm going
He's
for
the man.
McDonald's. I'm going for McDonald's next. Totally.
You're gonna go work for Macca's.
Back of these, yeah.
Oh, Liger drove Nino to
I just
Macca's.
noticed 3 bags full.
Last night, after I went to bed, Tynan finished putting on the second door, so you can see it behind me, the edge of it. So at the moment, we're just waiting for the sealant on those to cure, and then when that's done, yes, they need those missing parts, but otherwise we can start using that door. That means this door is also getting reinstated. It has quite a soft aluminium frame, so we have been holding off putting it back on. That will go on. The air conditioner will get moved back to here, and all that terrible black plastic you can see will go. But we are waiting for it to cool down a little bit because it is extremely hot here in Trinidad, so sealant goes off quite quickly.
You know what I mean?
I've been sanding the fittings on the hull, and then I made dinner, and I'm enjoying dinner. Nino outside the window, and these boys getting the door done.
Hey, Nino.
Following the departure of the French rigger Jean-Guy, we had a lot of work to do on the mast, including wiring all of the electronics back to the switchboard. The first part of that was running them through the gooseneck into the boat, then from there, through the roof and back to the board. So Trent just asked me to throw him the cocky beaks. I presume that's not what these are called everywhere, but that's what we call them.
Masts are like 90% prep and then 10% execution.
Oh yeah.
And if you switch that ratio around, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yep.
I know that I shouldn't have to do this because it's warranty, but
You know the system, and it's like you just want it done right the first
I've done
time.
the
Do it
job
yourself.
before, haven't I? Because I forced to learn how to do it in Italy because I didn't have a choice.
So what we're doing here is continuation of the mast reinstallation that we have been doing while also trying to do about 1,000 other things. The mast is wired up, and the best part of it is everything's been tested, and right now it is all working. We have wind instrument data. One job that's kind of boring for you, but so time consuming for us, is turning our boat from a construction site into a home. Our belongings are split across the boat, an apartment, and 3 storage rooms in different areas of the yard, and nothing inside is where it belongs, as almost every single storage space has had warranty issues. When we leave Trinidad, it will be the first time we actually sail lager purely for fun, without carrying excessive repair supplies like entire spare windows, rolls of fiberglass, and when we arrived here, in excess of 50 kilograms of West Systems resin. One of the problems we've been left dealing with is the swim ladder, and this is one that just makes Trent want to hit the roof, and understandably so. Now, the swim ladder was rebedded by one of the Robertson and Kane guys, and he did a really good job. It was perfect. Then it was realized that the track mark repair that they did on half of it, where they replaced the track mark due to basically irredeemable collateral damage by the previous contractor, and the first attempt it didn't work. They had no track mold, and for some reason that we are still not sure about, one particular person from the moorings decided that he would start trying to cut the swim ladder off, and he did not do that all the way because it got too hard, but that then compromised the seal. Then we asked one of the other guys to basically finish the job, take it off and rebed it properly so that it was done properly. And he started trying to do it because another issue was that then also after he did this, for some reason the ladder wouldn't go up and down. So then they've hacked away at the base of it. They told us they didn't go in very far and that it would be fine. But our concern is, like, you've gone in and cut the sealant, water's going to get under there, it's going to mold, and if you have gone through, then it could be a problem for us down the line. Like, you know, that salt water goes up there, we don't want it washing into the compartment underneath. Now, Tynan's trying to remove it, which he's not happy about because he's already done this job once before, and he's discovered that they did go in further than we were told. Best pleased about doing this again?
No.
It's such a pity as well, because like the RNC guy who rebed this, he was so proud of how like he did it and it was perfect.
Yeah, it didn't need to be touched.
So how far under did they go?
Yeah.
So you were able to slide a blade straight in under there. So that's into the middle bond.
Yeah, it's not far off being directly in the middle.
Which is not what they told us. They told us they only went in like maybe a centimetre. Don't get us wrong, like there was some of this team that came out were excellent. They did a really good job, amazing attitudes, and stuff that they did is just quality work. Like the guy that originally put this swim ladder on, the way he did it was really, really good. He polished it, he took care, and it was excellent. Others decide to touch things when they've been told not to, and then not tell you the truth of exactly what they did, so then you're stuck trying to figure out what they did, and it just wastes so much time. So it is frustrating now that they've all left, and you know, we've got to pull the swim ladder off and rebed it, which was already finished. We've got to get the gel coat off the swim ladder, that was already finished. You know, the hinges in the front were supposed to be rebed. Turns out there's tape in them, so we're going to have to redo that. Not to mention that we've still got to finish backfill without the electric caulking guns, because they took those, despite our offer to drop them to St. Martin's charter base in like 2 weeks. Still had to put their door together. Still stressed out waiting for the fittings that accidentally got thrown out. Well, that's what all the evidence points to. And then try and do our own work. Like, Tynan, you know, he's stuck here sitting doing the swim ladder. What he should be doing is testing the engines and doing the prop speed. So it's just annoying as hell that more and more time is just getting wasted doing other people's jobs. Something that like we were talking about with another owner who also had the team on his boat is just like the fact that it's so frustrating that you can't go do your own stuff because you feel like you have to watch them. And there's some guys who are great and you don't need to joke on them and watch them because they prove that not only do they do their job properly, but when they make a mistake they just come tell you the truth and they go, oh, this messed up, but this is how I'm going to fix it. That's excellent, that's what you want on your boat, but not everyone on the team was like that. And then you're stuck trying to clean up messes. And it's kind of compounded by the fact that a lot of the work they were doing was just to mop up collateral damage from the previous contractor. I feel like Trent has given them like every opportunity, far more than most people would, to do the right thing and fix their mistakes. And then you get the feeling that like they act like you're difficult, or you're trying to get something past them. And it's like, no, I just want you to fix the boat and we have standards. If your guys, or the previous guy sent out, destroyed something, we'd expect that it at least return to the condition it was before and not be told ridiculous things like, if you want your boat in the condition it was before our representative stepped aboard, you'll never get out of here. Crazy. Over time, in between other jobs, we have been doing the backfill on our windows using Dow 795, a product that isn't used by the factory, but is preferred by many of the Leopard owners that we've met and spoken to. Now we only have 2 exterior windows to backfill, the 2 in the forward cockpit, but before we can do that we need to source an electric sausage gun, because the way it was bonded in means we have a lot of sealant to push in before it starts to cure. I have some news for you guys. So the original plan was that we were supposed to get launched this Friday, and today is Tuesday. But because the sanding of the anti-foul took longer than expected, that didn't finish till yesterday, and it just physically wasn't possible for us to get the bottom paint on because we are doing barrier paint and anti-fouling. So what we've done is we have delayed our launch by a week, and now we are going to be getting launched next Friday. So this is no longer the 7-day countdown, we've added 7 days. I think it's a good thing though, because we still have quite a bit to do for launch. Things like getting the boom back on, the sails, the bottom paint, the prop speed, and then test our systems like the engines. Because the last thing we want is to get to the bottom of the ramp and the engines don't start. And then in between that, we're also repacking our home for the first time ever without having excessive repair supplies on us, which is just kind of a moment. And then also just dealing with things that we come across like that blue tape. This Friday launch spot though, next Friday, that is the last catamaran launch spot. If we don't make that launch, it will be 2025 before we're out of here. So we are very determined to make that launch. We'll be working on bottom paint today, trying to get that out of the way so that we can get out of here.